welcome back to week 2 of the Bluebell Poncho Loom Along. Last week we cast on with a faux picot cast on, and we knit the first lace section. And yes, it was long, so congratulations to all of you who stuck with it that week and got through that. That's a lot of knitting, 19,800 stitches. The section that we have for this week is only 10,296 stitches. Woohoo! Not quite half, or a little over half of what you did last week. So it's not as tough. It gets easier from here on out, guys. Stick with us. So we've done the faux picot cast on, we did the first lace section, and now the next section is a Garter Ridge section. So grab your looms and let's get going. Alright, let's get going on the next Garter Ridge section of the poncho. So we've done our faux picot cast on, we've done our 3 knit lace section for 10 inches or 10 and a half, whatever you feel like doing. And now we have a couple different Garter Ridge sections that we need to do before we get to our Indian cross stitch. So let's begin. We finished up our 3 knit lace section with row number 8. So this Garter Ridge section starts with row number 9. Pretty easy sections. Row number 9 says slip 1 peg, slip peg 1, and then U-knit all. So we're going to skip or slip the first peg and U-knit the remaining pegs. And that was row number 9. Row number 10 now says slip 1 peg and purl to the last peg and U-knit the last peg. So it's slip 1, purl to the last peg, U-knit the last peg. So we're going to slip 1, purl, so slip 1, purl to the last peg, U-knit that last peg. And that was row number 10. You need to repeat rows 9 and 10 4 more times for a total of 5 ridges. So again, row 9 was slip 1, U-knit all. Row 10, slip 1, purl to the last peg, U-knit the last peg. Again, you do rows 9 and 10 a total of 5 times. Okay? Alright, I'm now going to assume that you have done rows 9 and 10. We're ready to move to row 11. Let me back up one step. Rows 9 and 10 needs to be about a 1/2 inch worth of knitting. So if you're not using the loom indicated in the pattern and you're using a different gauge loom, knit till you have about a 1/2 inch or a little more of that type of Garter Ridge section. Okay? Now we're going to move to this larger section of Garter Ridge. And again, I'm assuming y'all know this, but I'm going to tell you anyway, a Garter Ridge is considered 1 row of knit, 1 row of purl. So what we just did was a Garter Ridge of U-knit stitches, and now we're going to do some Garter Ridges of E-wrap knit stitches. Okay? Row 11 starts that section. Row 11 says slip 1, E-wrap knit to the last peg, and then U1 or U-knit stitch 1. So slip or skip 1, E-wrap knit to the last peg, so slip 1, E-wrap knit to the last peg, and then U-knit that last peg. And that was row 11. Row 12 says slip 1, purl to the last peg, and then knit 1. So we're going to skip the first peg, purl to the last peg, so again, slip one, purl to the last peg, and then E-wrap knit that last peg. And that was row 12. We're going to repeat rows 11 and 12 for another 19 times. So that gives us a total of 20 garter ridges. For those of you who are using a different gauge loom, it's about 5.25 inches of that type of garter ridge section. I would strongly urge you to go to my YouTube video that is the Garter Ridge Hack, because there's a quicker way to do garter ridges. I'm not going to show you here. You can go watch it on the other video, but it makes the garter ridge section go quite a bit faster if you use that hack, so go check that out. Alright, so once we're done with row 11 and 12 for the 20th time, the last little section here of garter ridges is we're going back and doing another section of garter ridges with a U-knit stitch. So row 13. Row 13 says slip one and U-knit all. So we're going to slip the first peg and we're going to U-knit down to the end. U-knit all. So we're going to U-knit every single peg down to the end. All right, that was row 13. Row 14 says we're going to slip or skip peg one, purl to the last peg, and then we're going to E-wrap knit, or excuse me, we're going to U-knit this last peg. So in row 14, we're going to slip one, purl to the end, U-knit one stitch. Slip one, purl, 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 and U-knit. Okay, so that's row 14. We are going to repeat rows 13 and 14 one more time. So you will do a total of rows 13 and 14 two times in total. For those of you again with a different gauge loom, we're talking there about 1/4 inch to 1/2 inch worth of that type of garter ridge. All right, that's it for week number 2. We're going to get through this garter ridge section, and then we'll next week when we come back, we will do the Indian cross stitch. Again, if you don't want to wait, feel free to go to Ravelry, Craftsy, or www.DaynaScolesDesigns.com, and you can buy the Bluebell Poncho pattern and have it all written out for you. The beauty of my patterns, guys, is that everything will be contained in that pattern to make what you need. You don't have to go seek out a video. If there's something unusual, I will do photo tutorials for you so that it's all self-contained in a pattern. You don't have to go to an external source unless you want to. All right, that is it. Happy looming, guys. You've got another 10,296 stitches, and I will see you next week.